What's up, y'all? You're tuned into Vision and Heels Uncensored, the podcast dedicated to giving you the raw truth on all things V&H. We're talking real-life experiences infused with faith and an unwavering commitment to authenticity.
I'm Ivette Pujol, your Vision and Heels Community Manager, a Cuban visionary with Miami roots.
And I'm Jeanette Marie Rodriguez, the CEO and founder of Vision and Heels, Puerto Rican and Dominican Bronx native, your New Yorican host. We're here to share our take on navigating life, business, and all the hats we proudly wear.
Time to pour the cafecito. Let's dive in.
Hey, y'all. We are back. Another episode, another week. We are super excited. We've been talking already for like 30 minutes. And I was like, all right, let me just go in and press record because Yvette and I can talk for hours and not get tired and just love our conversations about our babies, about business, about life, about church. Our conversations go all over the place. So we're both home today. We had to pivot because we just had so much going on. And so thankfully technology allowed us both to be in our homes and recording. So we are thankful for that. And yeah.
This is kind of nice that we're on a Sunday night just being able to chill in our own homes. As you know, I'm only there at Vision and Heels 3 days a week. And even on my days off, I go in. But then I start having withdrawals. I'm like, okay, I need to catch up. And so this is nice to be able to see each other and just be able to chat about everything we've had going on our weekend and what's going on with our kiddos and our families. And I'm grateful that we get to share that with our listeners.
Yes, life seems to be going 100 miles per hour for the both of us. And I am blessed that I have someone to kind of walk. We kind of are in the same season of our lives, and it's a blessing to have someone in the season with me, understanding everything that I'm going through because she's similar, a little different but similar. So thank you, Jesus, for bringing Yvette into my path when you did. All right, so that'll go right into
this morning.
That'll go right into our gratitude. I didn't forget today. Last week I forgot and you had to remind me. And then we can go into our topic for this week. So, Yvette, let's start with you.
What are you grateful for?
No, you tell me. What are you grateful for?
You know what? This morning at by 8 o'clock in the morning, I was already at the dance studio, and from the dance studio, my daughter there at 9, she was dancing until 1 o'clock. I came home around 10:30 to go to church with Richard. And I am so grateful for, I should have started with this one because faith is the foundation of everything I do, not a backup plan. And I got really emotional at church and even started crying during worship because I am so grateful that I have a God that a Holy Father that loves me unconditionally, and regardless of what's going on in my life, regardless of the situations, time and time again, over and over and over again, his love for me has just taken me through anything and everything that we've been going through. And I think I briefly touched on it. I don't know what we recorded or didn't record, but things that could have just recently torn us apart brought us closer together, and to just be there. And there could be so many excuses of not going to church and, oh, we've got this and we've got that, to where Richard and I are closer than ever. So I am so grateful for my faith, to God, to Jesus, for being the foundation of our marriage, being the foundation of our home, being the foundation on which we have raised our girls, because they're kind of making decisions on their own now. And without that foundation, parents complain about having teenagers, and so I'm like, we've been blessed. Why? Because since they were babies to now, like that foundation, God has always been there, always has, always will. It's that one um one rock, the
Amen.
foundation of everything we do.
I
Yeah.
love that.
So
I
so
love
very
that.
grateful for that.
I think I'm gonna piggyback on the same. So I'm grateful that God allowed me to be part of my daughter's homecoming. Thank you for doing her makeup. She looked stunning. Yvette has like everything you can think of, and as far as makeup and just everything, like she came with eyelashes, nails, you name it. Like she is like the beauty queen. and
She
um
was a pleasure to work with.
Yes, when she told me about homecoming, the first thing she asked, hey mom, can Yvette do my makeup? So, of course, I went to Yvette, and she said yes, she would have loved to. So, thank you, Yvette. And it was awesome. I had a moment, just to see my baby girl, 13 years old. Um, and yeah, it was emotional, and I was thankful that I was able to see her and take pictures of her and just see her in her element. I mean, she was just so beautiful. So I'm thankful that God allowed me to be part of that, to witness it. You know, those that know me and Joe, we kind of are like helicopter parents. So we stayed, not because we didn't trust our daughter. It was also Biketoberfest, Bike Week,
Yeah,
Biketoberfest, and the
yeah.
event took place in Daytona, not far from a lot of the biking events. And we just wanted to make sure the girls were safe, not just Jaylene, because she did go with a couple friends. And so we stayed near, and that was also fun to see her. And at one point, she had no shoes on, so I guess she danced, which I've never seen her dance, so that was funny. Um, but yeah, she had a good time. We stayed real close, so we were literally steps away if she needed us, but we were careful to give her space. So that was fun.
But I
That
don't
was
know
fun.
about you, but I know that when I went to dances and stuff, it was just me and my friend.
Mhm.
I think
Mhm.
my parents ever played a part in how great it is. How great is it that you get to be a part of her life?
Yes.
That she has you there, you're there with her. You guys are all enjoying together, as opposed to you're not watching her. You're enjoying that moment with her, because in the blink of an eye, that's it.
I
It's
know.
it's
She'll be
gone and it's
grown up.
over, and they don't do this anymore.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. It was
Caro
sad.
only has one more. That's it. Like one more
It wasn't
homecoming and we're
just
done.
me and Joe. Matt was there. He's like, "Mom, I'm Hawkeye." So
You guys
everyone
are
was
true eagles.
cracking up. True Eagles. Yes. So I'm thankful for that. That is going to be my week. I mean, there was so much that happened this weekend, but I know we only got a little bit of time, so I'm going to make that my highlight for the weekend.
I'm happy to hear. I'm sure. I'm positive, because the time that I got to be with her and just spend a little time with her, um, just one on one chatting while I was doing her makeup. She's a beautiful girl with a beautiful soul. She's amazing, and she's just a pleasure. Uh, and it's nice to see that they're enjoying this, and that you get to enjoy those moments with her.
Amen. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So, our title for today: Faith it until we make it. Let's faith it. Faith, not fake it. Faith. Let's faith it until we make it. Interesting, huh? Interesting topic. Um, you
It
know,
is, and I
we
think many of us fake it, and
yes, that's what I was
it's
gonna say. We've heard it all
yeah.
the time. Fake it until you make it. Keep your poker face on, this and that. Um, and I mean, there's times where you can't show vulnerability, right? There's times in our lives that we've been in situations, maybe it was in the corporate world and you felt like just, you know, going off on someone, or you got emotional and you really had to put that poker face on and go somewhere where you were alone and just let it out and then come back like nothing ever happened. So we're not saying that it's bad to do those things. Sometimes we have to based on the situation, but we're kind of putting a spin on it. Yvette and I try to remember we're not perfect. I'm going to speak for myself. I'm not perfect. I have faults, but
You can speak for me too. I'm not perfect.
um,
Absolutely.
and it's a constant battle to remind myself who I am in Christ. I am a daughter of the King, and all these things, and I have to constantly remind myself of everything that I'm telling you guys to do. So I'm talking to all of you, but it's mainly for me so that I can listen back and tell myself, right? So it's something that I have to do and redo. I mean, this is every day for me, right? So when you're thinking of us telling you to faith it until we make it, what's your take on it, right? Yvette.
At least for me, it isn't how um, faith isn't something you turn to after things go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It's what grounds your decisions from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
You step into your business not because everything was perfectly lined up, but because you believed that if God put it in your heart,
Yep.
He'd also equip you for it.
Yep.
So during that process, there are times that you're not going to be clear on where you need to go. And God, where are you taking me? Where am I supposed to go with this? But that foundation, that faith, helps you take action anyway, regardless, because you know if He led you to it, He's
Mm-hmm.
going to get you through it. I didn't wait until I had all the answers. I moved in faith. And even moving in faith and go, okay, I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm going to do it. And I'm going to figure this out. I'm not going to be fake, but my foundation is firmly planted in who I am.
Yes.
And even if I had to be different Yvettes and say, okay, today I've got to be the good Yvette, I've got to be the team leader Yvette, I've got to be the supervisor Yvette, I've got to be the, excuse my language, the hard ass Yvette. You know what? You guys, you're not stepping up to the plate. You've got to do what you got to do, and we've got to lay down the law and say, this is the goal for our department, for our unit. We're not meeting budget. We're not. There's times that we have to wear different hats, but nonetheless, it's not um, it's not where you turn to. Your faith is not where you turn to when things are going wrong. It's where you're building
Mm-hmm.
from.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have a team of employees or even other people that you're working with, they can sense that. Like, where are you coming from?
Absolutely.
Is this from a place of love or a place of desperation?
Yes, 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 yes. And then I think we've all heard the word faith. And if you read scripture, Hebrews 11:1 tells us that faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen.
Right.
So, or you can say the evidence of things not seen. So, faith, right, is the assurance of things that we hope for. You can't see it, right? We're hoping, right? And if you're walking in the will of God, which is the perfect will for us, right? And you're really living out your calling, whether it be in your business, whether it be in your job, right? If you really are living the calling and you are the person that you were created to be, this is a daily battle, right? Because the enemy also knows, right, when we are in line, and he's going to try to get us out of line, right? And it is going to be in those times where we're living in our calling and then we see everything going great and then something comes from, nowhere, and you're like, okay, Lord. And then you get confused, like, wait a minute, am I truly living in your calling and in your will? If not, why is this happening? Like, so, he confuses us, and then we lose track, and then we start making those decisions out of desperation, right? We
Mm-hmm.
make permanent decisions on temporary circumstances, which is horrible, right? In the business
Right.
aspect,
Yeah.
right? Let's talk about those desperate decisions where we decided, okay, we got to do this and we got to get involved in all these things, and that doesn't always lead to something good. And then at the end of it, you're like, wait a minute, you just went spinning for no reason. Now you're overwhelmed. Now you're stressed. And I think I mentioned this to you the last couple days. I listened to a podcast from Mel Robbins, and she had Dr. Gupta, who's a neurologist, on her
Yeah.
podcast. And he talked about pain and,
Yeah.
how two people feeling the same type of pain, but one person didn't sleep, was stressed out, overwhelmed, all those things, and the other person was laying on a beach, relaxed. So the pain level of the person that was
Yeah.
already stressed, wasn't sleeping, all the things were at like 8, right?
Yeah.
Same pain, right? Um versus the pain level of the person that was on the beach, not worried, just relaxing. That pain was at about a 2 or a 3, right? So
I can
worrying,
absolutely understand that. Yeah. And sometimes we don't have the privilege of getting to the beach.
yeah.
And when my aunt, remember I told you that she had had her surgery a few years ago. I told you in my little devotional book, and we have it at work, and I
Mm-hmm.
have mine at home here. Um, and it was June 7th, the June 7th day. If you think that you're in control of everything, then you have a lot to worry about.
Mm-hmm.
But since you're not in control of anything, what what good does it do you to worry?
Mm-hmm.
Worry brings nothing good out of this situation. Worrying implies that you're in control. Worrying is only going to make things worse. It's going to make you restless. It's only
Mm-hmm.
going to give you anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
All of those things. Sometimes we can't get to a beach
Mm-hmm.
as close as we live to the beach, and
I
as
know.
much as we love the fact that people vacation where we live and that they save hundreds of thousands of dollars to come to where we live, we don't have that benefit. But just taking a few deep breaths and
Mm-hmm.
saying, God, it's all in your hands anyway, your will be done,
Mm-hmm.
please, like,
Mm-hmm.
take that anxiety, take this. um it makes it so much easier because I'm not in control.
Right.
There's been times that had I worried about something, it would have been for nothing, and I
Right.
would have made myself sick and trying to figure it out, and all of this stuff, all of the anxiety that goes through your head when, okay, for what?
Right. Right. And
Guys, you're in control.
God, you are in control. And so us worrying, we're really not placing faith in him,
Yeah.
right? Because we're trying to think of plans and ways to get out of this situation. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, right? God is a God of order, and he doesn't want us to be, walking aimlessly. And I think you and I spoke about this when you are called into something, it is not for you to sit back. It is going to require work. It's going to require for you to step up
Oh,
and do something.
absolutely.
And so many people feel like, okay, if this is from God, then He's going to do it. Okay, you have to put in your part, right? God didn't create us like robots, right? It's free will, it's
Yeah.
our choice. So we also have to want it. We also have to do our part. And I think that's where a lot of people get caught in that in between stage. They know they're calling, but they're kind of waiting and they're not doing their part. And I've done it. I'm speaking, that has happened to me. And I had to wake up and say, no, Jeanette, you have to put in work, right?
Right.
So it you can easily fall into that trap. And same way with someone like maybe going through a health crisis. It's so easy to get caught up in what your body is currently feeling, right? But someone once told me that there's someone out there, you have a pain in your body, right? There's someone that may be paralyzed from the neck down and can't feel anything. They would love to feel pain, right? Your
Mm,
children are driving
wow.
you insane and you're like, oh my gosh, I want to pull my hair out.
Yeah.
Um, And
Yeah.
there's families out there that are praying to have a kid. So
Praying for
situations,
those children.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes,
You're
situations
so right.
can be worse. So we have to be thankful. I was mentoring a mom that has multiple children on the spectrum, and she mentioned to me that one of her children saw her crying and went to her and acknowledged her feelings and said, "Did I make you feel like that?" And she was like, "At the
Oh,
moment, I had to
wow.
say, this is just my moment. It's not how I feel all the time. I'll be better." And I said, "Oh my gosh, did you celebrate that?" She's like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, the fact that he was able to recognize that's not easy for a child with autism. And then to recognize the cause and
Yeah.
effect of his action in you, that's huge. And she goes, "I never thought of it." I was like, "That's a win." Because they lack that emotional connection. And so the fact that he was able to realize, hey, my action caused my mom to be sad, that's huge.
Oh,
So
wow.
she was able to change the perspective. And it's nothing, listen, I'm not an expert. I didn't go to school for this. I just know it because I lived it. And
Absolutely.
so, God was able to
But
use
you're
that
best equipped
pain.
to be, you were that mom.
Yes, he
You
was
you
able to
were that
use
mom
that
with a
pain.
little one.
I was that mom. I knew what it was like to, like, I wish that I had experienced that. For Matt, it came later on, and praise God, I'm glad it did. But at the kid's age that he is now, for him to experience that, I was like, that's huge. So I know at the moment you felt like you had a nervous breakdown and you was upset because you allowed him to see you like that, but the fact that he connected all the dots emotionally, that's huge. So in thinking of our,
Having your perspective is priceless because I would have never thought of it that way
yeah,
because I don't have that situation. I'm
right,
so glad that you guys are together because you can see it from a completely different perspective.
yeah, yep, and it's only from experiences. So I had to experience that bad situation, and God still found a way 20 something years later for me to be able to share that with someone else when they needed it. So, our situations, and like I said, everyone has different things. It could be health. We need to celebrate our day. Like, let's not worry about tomorrow. We don't know tomorrow. Everything is so uncertain. And we get so stuck on, oh my gosh, my business, my 5-year plan. Okay, I'm all about the plan. You know that. I'm like, okay, I have a spreadsheet with,
Absolutely.
you know, November, December, January, February. She knows me. But I
Yeah.
have to constantly, that's what I tell you guys. I'm telling you, but it's also for me too. Like, I have to learn to worry about this day. And my pastor brought up just a preaching on the Our Father, and give us this day our daily bread. God didn't
Wow.
create us
Yeah.
to be so stuck on the future, on tomorrow, and worry about the problems. The Bible clearly tells us to don't worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to bring its own set of problems, right? it's in the
It's
it's in
funny
the
you say that
model
because I got
prayer.
another planner today.
Yeah, no, I love me some planners. You know me.
I got another
My
planner. I had to do it. It was cute and it was on special. And I said, you know what? I got a happy planner and it
I
was
love
only,
me a planner. I love me
uh,
a planner. I love it. It's okay to do that, but let's not get stuck. And if things don't go
right.
as planned, we have to say, okay, God, then you had other plans, and I'm going to be okay with it. And we have to continue on that way, faithing it, even if you're not okay. That goes back
Yeah.
to our title. We're going to walk by faith and be okay by faith until we get the outcome. And maybe it's a different outcome and it's a better outcome. We don't know. Um,
Absolutely.
it's
You know what
so,
I say all the time?
yeah, yeah. I trust.
I,
I
I
trust,
trust.
and I think I have
I
this.
don't understand.
I have that in here for us to bring up because I love that you say that. And something else that you mentioned a while ago, on just our identity, and our pastor talked about that. Who are we? We're not the sickness. We're not just a mom. We're not just a wife. We're not just our situation. We're not what someone did to us. We're not our feelings, right? We're not those things. We are who God created you to be. And I remember you saying that one time someone said, "How are you, Ivette?" Or they said your name, and you got emotional because we're so caught up in all those other labels that we
Yeah.
forget who we are and who God made us to be. And when my pastor said that today, matter of fact, I thought about you and how you brought that to light. And I'm like, that is so true. Um, so it's easy to get caught up, so easy, because we want to be all the things, right? I was able to be there for my daughter, and I felt the happiest I felt in a long time. And today I'm tired because today I had to do something else and then play e-group leader and be there for my chickies. I call them my babies. Um, and they had a real pivotal moment for them in their walk, and I had to be there. So I went to bed, like, literally, I think I got into bed at 2 in the morning, and then to wake up early and rush to Orlando to be there. And I was just filled with joy and I cried, but it doesn't change the fact that I'm tired now, right? So, um,
Yeah.
it's just, so I don't want to get caught up in those labels. I'm like, nope, I'm not the tired Jeanette. I am just Jeanette who God is using for many different things. And right now, this is my season for this. And it's not
Yeah.
always going to be like this. So I'm going to celebrate my today because I don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. Instead of
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, I'm tired. Oh my gosh, I'm this, I'm that. My tooth still hurts. Like, oh, I could sit here and talk about all these negative things, which are true, right? I'm tired.
Right.
I did have a wisdom tooth pulled on Tuesday. All these things are true, but that's not me. I am Jeanette,
Yeah.
and this is my season for right now, and I'm going to be thankful because God is using me, and I'm still alive and I'm still breathing. There's people that didn't have a chance to wake up this morning. So,
Yeah. Even when we scheduled this on Friday, I thought about it. And I know that you and I were talking on Friday about if it requires me to rush, I'm
yes.
not doing it anymore. I don't want to do that. I don't
Yes.
want to keep hurrying through life. Um, and when we scheduled it on Friday, my daughter called me and said, "Mommy, I'm not feeling well. I need you to pick me up." And it was the time you and I had scheduled to record. And I said, "You know what? We're gonna have to table this."
Mhm.
I love the fact that I go and pick up my daughter, and it wasn't rushing through it. And when you and I scheduled it for Sunday evening, I thought, I this is something I love doing. I really enjoy talking to you. I really enjoy how our conversations have a little bit of faith, have a little bit of fun, have mom life, have wife life, have all of these things. And this is this is the way I intentionally wanted to end my day.
Mhm.
It's not, I didn't look at it as, oh, this is a chore. I've got to record the podcast on Sunday evening. This is just something else that I have to do. I have hair treatment in my hair. I'm sitting here relaxing. We're talking about our faith in business and how it's the
Mhm.
foundation. And then afterwards, I'll be able to take a shower, relax, and start my week kind of inspired that, you know
Mhm.
what? Thank you, God, for another day, another beautiful day with all of
Yes.
its lessons, another beautiful weekend. And that we start tomorrow again. Okay, back to our plan, what we think needs to be done, because there are things that need to be done. What are our goals for this week?
Yep.
What are our goals in business? Well, what are family goals? All of those things have to be taken into consideration, but it doesn't require anxiety. It doesn't require you going crazy.
Right.
Like, just taking a few minutes to take a deep breath and say, is this something that I have control over? I don't have control over this.
Right.
For the past few months, you know what our family situation
Yep.
has been, and we didn't have any control over that.
Right.
And now looking back, once again, I wouldn't have changed that experience for the world. Why? Because it has brought me to this place today, to where we are stronger than ever, and we are building an even firmer foundation. Where? In God, in Christ.
I love that.
And we can keep going. Um, and that's, I think, one of the reasons why you and I connected, because we're both so goal oriented. We have um, so many things that we want to do to help others.
Mhm.
Um, but God and family and faith, all of that has been and is and continues to be the foundation of everything we do. It's not like it goes out the window when everything is good. We don't forget God
Mm-hmm.
and go, oh, everything's good. We don't need him today. We're going to stop going to church and we're going to stop praying and we're going to stop
Mm-hmm.
our beliefs. No, it's on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's who we are. Um, and it's who we can turn to
Mm-hmm.
each other and in
Mm-hmm.
our community.
Mm-hmm.
And just like you have your group, you guys turn to each other in that community.
Yep.
And what a beautiful space to have that mom and her and her fiance come to you guys,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
another community member that has firsthand experience, and be able to help another mom see those things while she's growing as a mom. It's the kids don't come with a manual. None of this comes with a manual. As much as we try to, the only thing we know stands true yesterday, today, and tomorrow and forever is God and our faith. And we don't understand why
I
things
love
happen
that.
sometimes, but he puts us where we need to be.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And he's just amazing and how he provides. Um, it goes into our second piece of this where the goal for faithing it until we make it is winning the battle of our mind. Our mind
Mm,
is so powerful, guys. Um, it is just so powerful. And as I mentioned earlier, a neurologist has really nothing to do with religion or spiritual, it's factual, right? This is how your brain operates. We've also heard the law of attraction, right? You start walking
right.
in it, you make these goals, right? These vision boards. And these are supposed to be reminders of where you're going, right? But why not walk, act, and feel as if you've already attained those things? And what we
Mm-hmm.
hear from the law of attraction, right, is that these things will gradually begin to happen. Why? Because mentally you've already told yourself, I'm living that dream. This is the life I want to live. So it will happen.
Yep.
And it's just amazing how it goes back to the Bible. No matter you see science and you have doctors saying these things, it's what the Bible tells us to do. Walk by faith and not by
Yeah.
sight. All these things, right?
Yeah.
And so it's just amazing to me. God just has me in awe all the time when I start digging into His Word. I love science. I love the mind. So I piece it all together, and it always brings me back to God,
Yeah.
which I love. I just love it. But the mind is literally a battlefield, guys. And it is something that we have to fight every day, which is why it's so important that we surround ourselves around people that are going to help us, right? And I'm learning this with my e-group. There's two type of people. There's either going to be people that edify you, and then there's going to be people that are not, and it's not going to be anything positive. So where are you spending your time at, right? And which side? Hopefully around the people that are pouring into you, right? And sometimes it'll be you pouring into them, but you want that back and forth, right? That's healthy versus the people that are constantly going to be nagging, bringing problems, just negative. Because what happens? You're going to jump on that bandwagon and you're going to start being negative. I mean, I know sometimes I get upset and I want to pick up the phone and talk to someone that's going to be like, yeah, I know you're right. You should feel this way, and like
Yeah.
egging you on, right? You don't want to hear
Yeah.
someone that's gonna say, "Well, Jeanette, let's pray about it. What does the Bible say about this?" Right? Because you're in
Right.
that mode. Like I want. That's it. I'm gonna fight. I need
Yeah.
somebody just.
Dame cranky because I'm ready
Think
to
about
go.
the music you put on. You want to get hype. You're gonna put the music that you're not gonna put worship
Yeah.
music. Well, we should. That's what we should be doing, right? Because we're not in
Yeah.
the right mindset. We need some motivation to go the other way. And I'm grateful for you because there's been so many times we've been able to talk and we'll come up with something and both agree, and then the next day you're like, I really thought about it, and no, we shouldn't like go that way. Maybe we should go this way. And I'm thankful because I know that you're in prayer and you follow. And so when you come to me and you tell me that, I can sit back and say, yeah, you're right. That wasn't nice, or that's not something we should do, right? Let's change our mindset. And so surrounding yourself around people that are not always going to agree with you, right? And are going to put you in
Yeah.
your place is so important. So important. That's why we
But I
go.
was having this conversation with my daughter earlier today, and you and I have had this conversation
Mm-hmm.
that there's times that being human, because we are absolutely
Mm-hmm.
100%
Mm-hmm.
human, and there are times that you press my button and I am going to react.
Oh yeah.
And there's times that my daughters ask me for something, and my knee jerk reaction will be whatever it is, nope, or this or that. And now they know. They ask me something and I step back and I say, you know what, you need to give me a minute. I need to think about this, because the knee jerk reaction is what I've been programmed and what I was told in the past, and that's what I'm going to answer you. And I don't know why I'm having this feeling right now, and I know that it's just coming from me, my humanness. But
Mm-hmm.
is this what I really should do? Is this the answer that I really should give you? And sometimes I look back and I'm like, no, you know what? I have no justification for this answer or this action, and it shouldn't be that way. So sometimes we just need someone to bounce these ideas off of, and then you go back and you go, why no, this isn't the right thing to do. It just, no, that was me responding out of humanity. We're either scared, or we don't know what to do, or we want to protect, or whatever it is. But then when you take a minute and say, okay, this is how we should go.
Yeah.
um
Yeah.
Things just they make sense a little different way. um and with the mindset stuff, um who was it that we were talking to? I always think you were involved, but weren't we talking to somebody that was talking about working out your faith muscle? No, it was in life group on Thursday. They were talking about, just like you work out your muscles,
Mm-hmm.
your faith is also a muscle.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like if you don't work it out, if you
It's
don't
gonna get weak.
consistently train, yeah, it gets weak.
Yep.
And so you need to train your faith just like you would a muscle.
Yep.
Right now, I am probably the weakest I've ever been in my life physically. Why? Because I haven't been working out. I haven't been consistent with going to the gym. I haven't I haven't made it a priority.
Mm-hmm.
There's been other things that have taken that space. Well, the same thing happens with our faith. If we don't work out our faith muscle, it'll it'll disappear. It'll start to get weak.
Right.
So the mind and being intentional with how you start your day and your routine, how you end your day, all of those things, how you speak to yourself
Yep.
during the day,
Yep.
the people that you surround yourself by, the community that you have around you, it's all very important. And it's not all rainbows and butterflies all the
Right.
time,
Right.
but it's positivity and a good foundation.
Right. And we
And
talk.
sometimes you don't get what you need.
Mm-hmm.
You get what it isn't what you intended or thought you'd hear, but it's the truth.
Right. And it's what you needed to
Yeah.
hear. It's not what we wanted, but
Right.
it's what we needed.
Yeah.
And we've talked about doing time audits and kind of when you're planning things, where's your time going, and kind of, setting boundaries. But you also have to do a people audit. Who do you have in your corner? Who are you spending the most time with? And are they edifying you? Is it helping you? Or is it tearing you apart? And based on those answers, then you have to start really looking at how you're going to make those switches and those changes so that you can change who you're around. And sometimes it's hard because it may be people that you're close to, maybe a family member, but just ask God to show you and really take in that audit, who you're spending time with, and are they helping you? Are they edifying you? Or is it the opposite? All right. So the power of our mouth. Our tongue has so much power. And in my e-group, we talked about how it's just not talking, right? So we think we can say it, it's just talking, it's me talking crap, it's me just whatever. And it's
Right.
never just that. The tongue is either edifying or it's killing,
Yeah.
right? And it talked about how early in the Bible, in the book of Genesis, that the first sin just started with the serpent talking,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So the
The
tongue
tongue.
has power. What we say does have influence as to what we think. What we think eventually becomes our reality. We always hear it. Perception is reality. What we think will eventually start to happen, right? It's like we talked about this too. You see a car, you're thinking about buying a car, and then you starts popping up all over the place. You're at a red light, you see three of them. You're like, what? How is this possible? I've been driving the same road
Yeah.
and I never see this car. Now that I'm thinking about buying it, it's popping up. So
Right.
what we say and what we think, what we say would eventually go to what we think will eventually happen. That is so important. Even in the situations where things don't make any sense, how we respond is so important. It is so important. And I think I wrote this down on my notes that I want you guys to try to find words to replace those negative things that we tell ourselves, right?
Yeah.
I am afraid. No, I have faith that God is going to get me through this. I am sick. I am healed. Replace it with an opposite word. My family is restored. Not that, my family's dysfunctional. Oh, my family is restored. Let's replace some of those negative words. Oh, I have so much debt. I owe everything, whatever. I am debt free. Start telling yourself these things. Start walking in that, right? So that way you live it, and eventually, I promise you guys, and there's science. Even if you're listening, you're like, I don't know about this faith stuff. There's science to prove it. There's this thing called law of
Yeah.
attraction. They're teaching it. You can pay, thousands of dollars to hear someone tell you how important this is, right? It's real, guys. It is real. We call it faith, walking by faith. And you can call it whatever you want, but what I want you guys to do is start replacing that negative mindset and that negative self-talk. It is so important, guys. The power of our mouth, our confession, what we say is so important.
You have to speak as if it already exists.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Absolutely 100% of the time.
Yes. I love that.
Because
I love
otherwise
it. I love
your
it.
your brain hears what you say also.
Right?
If you think about it, your brain is telling you what to say.
Yep.
But what you say, your ears hear it, and it records it in an area of the brain than the area of the brain that is telling you to say it.
Right? Right?
It all, like you said, it all comes back to science. But even if you don't believe it, you have to say
You
it,
have to say it.
and your ears will hear it, because then it'll record it in a different part of the brain, which then kind of sends signals to the part of the brain that tells you to speak.
Yes.
And eventually it will start to either come true, or you just don't feel those feelings of anxiety anymore.
Right?
And there's been proven science behind it.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And that brings us into our next piece of this, where it talks about walking the walk, right? So, what does it mean to you to walk the walk of faith, right? Um, we've all heard that faith without works is dead, right? So, if you say you have faith, but then you're not walking in it, right? And we always like to spin it towards business. I am mentoring a few entrepreneurs right now, and one of the gals I'm mentoring, we talked about her perfect day, which includes, having a home on the water, right? Near the beach. And I said, that sounds amazing. And she told me her whole day. And I said, well, how far are you from the beach right now? She said not too far, right? I don't even think she said 20 minutes if I recall correctly. And I'm like, okay. go to the beach. Wake up 30 minutes early, take 10 minutes,
Yeah.
and put your feet on that sand. Walk as if you already so what, you get in your car to do it. It's okay, right? The whole
Yeah.
thing is you want to just feel the sand on your feet. You want to be close to the water. She feels like she's gets inspired by the water. Do it.
Yeah.
You're the only one holding yourself back from not feeling what a home on the beach for you would make you feel.
Yeah.
So just start doing it. And it's just and that will go towards a lot of things in our lives and in our walk. We are the ones that stopped ourselves from living the life that God intended us to live. Do you think he wants us to live overwhelmed and stressed and missing the moments of what we love the most, of our children, of our family, of our walk with him as we're growing, to just be focused on the problem and not focus on how the problem got you closer to God and how you were able to be a testimony to someone else? We're missing that because we're so caught
Yeah.
up in the problem. And that's not what God wants us to do. That's not how we're supposed to
Mm-mm.
live on this earth. And some will say, which is true, we are in living ugly times and everyone's not so nice, and we're hearing stuff, and we all see the news, sometimes too much news.
Yeah.
But we can't let that take us away from the bigger picture, which is we serve an amazing God. He is the same. My dog is having, I don't know, an attack there. He is the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. You mentioned that he is your foundation. He's never let you down. So we got to hold on to that promise in everything we do. Let's hold on to that. So I love that.
And I promise, I am not speaking from maybe the gravity that other people have had, but there have been times that we have been in gravely ill medical situations. We have been without income for months. We have been um, through some pretty rough times. We're not telling you that any of these things coming from, oh, in our cushy little with nice
I
cars
promise.
and
Nope, that is
full
not.
bank accounts, all of these things. Oh, they're really easy to say, but I tell you, just when Ivette is trying to rack her brain around how are we going to make it, we don't have any income, we don't have, when I take the me out of it, all of a sudden God says, am I going to have to show you, my child, one more time how I have always taken care of you and I always will? And when you least expect it, I don't think I told you, we got a check in the mail the other day for like $2,800 from something Richard had done like a year ago, from a
Wow.
deposition that he had to show up at court
Wow.
exactly when we needed it.
Wow.
And it wasn't something we were expecting. And
Wow.
and it was like, Ivette, why are you worrying about this? Do your best. And again, I would not trade the situation we have gone through right now. I would not trade some of the cancers close family members have gone through. Why? Because it has made us cherish each and every moment we have. They are so special, and the worrying served no purpose whatsoever. I didn't say it didn't take action. I prayed, we prayed, our family prayed, I had everyone praying, but then we needed to take action, just like we needed to take action with our family, with our home, with applying for every job that we could, for putting ourselves out there in every situation that we could, for finding every doctor that we could. You have to take action.
You have to take action.
But take action in faith.
In faith. Yep. And then trust that, okay, Lord, I'm going to take action, but if it doesn't work out, I'm still going to hold on to my faith in you, because then that means that there's something else. And don't allow that to discourage you. That's so important, because it's easy. You
Absolutely.
get a bunch of no's and you're like, okay, Lord, I know you told me to do this, but all I keep hearing is no, or not now, or this or that. So the human part of us starts to get discouraged. It's okay. It happens. It's normal. All right. I think with that we can wrap it up, because this is a topic that we can go on and on about. And we're both so passionate about it because we live it. Yvette mentioned,
Yeah.
and we promise you, it's not a perfect life. Um,
Nope.
Yvette has asked me, one of our first conversations when she first came to Vision and Heals to work as our community manager, why are you doing this? I love you, but why? And those are tough conversations, and I didn't have an answer for her. I just said that I think is what God wants me to do, and I see it as ministry. I didn't know what to say.
Yeah.
And she loves me so much and cares for me that she came to me as a friend, not someone that works for me, which I was so thankful for, and asked me something, the why. And I didn't have an answer other than I think this is what God wants me to do, and I'm going to continue to see it as ministry until He tells me otherwise. And I didn't have the answer, and I wasn't faking it because I didn't know. I just told her, and then things just start happening, and we just look at each other and we smile and we get teary eyed because we're like, God, you did it again. And
Yeah.
it's a daily
But just
reminder.
you have your side to that story. When I came in and I said, okay, I'm going to start looking at all the things, the income, the profit loss, all these, the what's coming in, all the numbers, you shared all the, and I'm like, some of these things aren't making sense. From a business standpoint, they're not making sense. Like, okay, that's why I asked you. I said, am I not seeing this? I think I've been in business for many years as well. And some of the conversations we have had, I kind of know what I'm talking about as well. And I'm like, where this isn't making sense for me. And it showed me that you're walking your walk, and where God has guided you, you are having that faith that this is something greater that God had put in your heart. And whether it made sense at the time or not, you were going to continue with what God put in your heart, because this is so much more than just a business. It's a ministry. And whether it was being lucrative or not, or whether it made sense at the time, you were going to continue with the calling that God put in your heart. And it has turned. And
Oh
I'm
my
like,
gosh, I was just going to say, now the other side of that conversation, we just look at each other, and you keep telling me, I trust. I don't know how He does it, but He does it. And we're like, He did it again. He does it again. He's providing, and we're on the other side of it, celebrating and dancing and just being thankful to Him. I mean, we celebrate all the wins, the big ones, the little ones. I mean, it's just amazing to see God's work. Like, amazing, amazing. Anyways, so with the wrap up, I guess I want to challenge you guys listening, to try to identify one area that you're going to try and actively faith it this week. Not fake it, you're going to faith it. And then we talked about it earlier. Create some sort of journal, and I want you to write some of those negative thoughts that keep going through your head. That's the self-talk that you tell yourself, because sometimes we are our worst critics. And I want you to replace those negative words with something positive, right? And then the last thing for the homework for this week, I believe I told you guys to do an audit on the people that you're around. Are they edifying you, or are they not? Okay. So you got some homework, and we as well are walking the walk with you guys. I mentioned it earlier. Let's not make permanent decisions, because it's multiple, on temporary circumstances. Imagine in the beginning, I would have decided, Yvette, you're right. I think the same thing. I'm just going to close up shop.
Yeah.
In the beginning,
that makes me sad.
Imagine all the things we would have missed, right? Because of the current situation in the beginning. And I'm so thankful. I am so thankful. I just said, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm trusting. And it all worked out, and God has been amazing. So just remember that, guys. And your mindset plays such a critical role on all of this. You cannot do this with a negative mindset. And this is going to be a daily fight, guys. Start reading books. Start, writing things down, things that are going to edify you. They're going to make you feel better. Listen to some podcasts on positivity, meditation, pray, whatever it is that you need to do. This is going to be a constant daily battle. Not every day is going to be roses and smiles, right? You're going to really have to fight. And that's okay. It's normal, right? We all do it. Doesn't mean that,
Yep.
your situation is worse or mine's or whatever. It makes you human. It makes you normal. So
Yeah.
let's commit. I have my person, I have an amazing husband at home that helps me to remember not to make, decisions when I'm in that mode. I have an amazing person at the office and a friend. We talk inside the office, outside the office, during events, which is Yvette. I have just an amazing corner. God's blessed me with amazing people. Find your people, find your community. And we say this every week. If you're local to DeLand, come with us. We will be your community. We will love on you. We will pray with you. I promise we will. We do that with almost everybody, if not everybody. Yvette's been known to hug people in the midst of their tears and cry with them. And you see me in the corner praying with them in the back of the office. It's just a daily thing we do, and we're proud of it because we walk the walk with you guys. So if you're local to DeLand, join us at Vision and Heals. We will promise to love on you. And if you're not local, find a community, guys. Find your people, find your tribe that are going to help you. They're going to motivate you because you need it. God didn't intend us to do this life alone, right?
Nope.
Find your people, find your tribe, find your group. And I promise it will make all the difference.
Yep, absolutely. I was walking with my tribe today. After dance, and we had gone to our store. I don't even know the name of the store, and we were talking about what you and I spoke about in reference to the bug, because I asked them. I said,
yes. Okay, we have to end it with that. I'm so glad. Okay.
Yeah, and it was funny because just recently, are you talking about the bug that was on crawling on the ceiling, the one that we thought was crawling on the ceiling?
No, so I'm talking about a palmetto bug, the ones that you find in the
Right.
trees that have wings and fly. Those.
Yeah.
Not a
No,
beetle.
that's a cucaracha.
Okay, so as a Cuban, what do you call those things when you see them?
Me, it's a cucaracha.
Okay, you call it cucaracha. I've heard that term too. We could use that too. My family, the Puerto Rican New Yorkers, we call it a fatula.
I'm telling you, my first language was Spanish. I went to school in Puerto Rico, and even my daughter today was like, they don't sing la fatula, la fatula.
It's la cucaracha.
It's like cucaracha. I have never heard that word. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to look it up. Because
yes, and
I
Joe,
would love to hear what...
I teach him Spanish. Joe only knows bits and pieces, so he swears my Spanish is all made up. He's like, it's your Cordero Spanish.
That's a Cordero word.
So when I told him that you didn't know, he goes, you see, this is why I rock with Yvette, because she knows. And I'm like, it's a word. I promise you, it does mean palmetto bug. All right, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode as much as we enjoyed recording it and sharing it. And I hope you liked our little humor, our different Puerto Rican to Cuban Spanish humor here. We are excited to be doing this podcast. It fuels us. We talk about it all week. And sometimes we pivot, but we promise to give you the true uncensored version of us. The real Jeanette and Yvette Marie's. And we love you guys. Thank you for being so supportive. We're getting amazing feedback. Leave us reviews, share with others. I mean, it's been a really good experience, and we're getting really good feedback. So thank you guys.
And if anyone wants to start a podcast, because honestly, we thought this, at least for me, I thought this was going to be a lot more work, and it has been so satisfying, so rewarding to just be intentional with this time and have you guys included in the conversations that Jeanette and I have, and have you guys personally come to us and say, I know exactly what you were talking about. Or, thank you so much.
Yep.
We really appreciate it. And it's like bringing in, once again, an amazing community, and purely selfish reasons. This feels probably better to us than a lot of other things that we do all week. So
Yes,
thank you again.
absolutely. All right, guys, we love you. And tune in next week for another uncensored episode of Jeanette and Yvette Marie. VNH Uncensored.
Mwah.
We love you
Yes.
guys. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Wow, that was some strong cafecito we poured today on Vision and Heels Uncensored. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Make sure you hit that subscribe button and leave us a review. We are truly grateful, as it really helps us pour more into your heart straight from ours.
Remember to live your truth, handle your business, and shine bright.
We'll be back soon to pour some more. Stay blessed.